Hi Best Buds, it's Cathy with Cathy's Garden, and I'm so happy that you've joined me today. It's also hashtag #TagMeTuesday, and we're going to make this really cute and simple journal using one envelope and one card. Now, have you ever gone to the store and you look at the cards? Yes, granted, they're like really expensive now, except if you go to the Dollar Tree here in the United States, you can get some very reasonably priced. But you see a card and you think, oh my goodness, that would be a beautiful journal cover. Well, now's your opportunity to pick up those cards and do just that. We're going to make a journal out of them. Now, what you are going to have is you're going to have a card, like this, something like this, a card that fits into the envelope. That's something that is very important. The card must fit inside the envelope. You don't want to get a smaller envelope than the card. You need to have the card fit into the envelope. That is how this project is going to work. Now, I'm still using my box of cards I bought about a year ago at Walmart. So I'm still working through my box of cards. Maybe you have a box of cards too you'd like to work through, or maybe you're going to just pick yourself up a card. Maybe you're even going to make yourself a card. However you're going to get your card and your envelope, the card must fit inside the envelope. All right, let's look and see what we're going to turn that card and envelope into. It even has a closure, a tie closure. So let's unravel it here and let's look at it a little closer. I have a hand-sewn signature and I have some bead dangles. I have lace trim for some decoration, an eyelet right here to put my baker's twine in. Let's open it up and it looks just like this. I have a little bit of bling right here just to accent my card a little further. And let's look at it. I even put a pocket right here using a little bit of ephemera. And here are my coffee dyed pages. I even have a piece of tracing paper for that sound. I paper clipped a few pieces of ephemera in here. I made a tuck spot with that fussy cut. I showed you how to fussy cut in that one video. There's that piece that we did together. Another little piece of ephemera. I just glued a little decoration down here. All right, so that is our pages for our little journal. And then you have a nice pocket that you could stick something else into. And watch, you guys, now this is really cool. It comes completely out. So now you have your journal. It is completely out. And you have your cover, which is your envelope. I just think that is so spectacular. I am excited about this project, and I think you will be excited too once you start making it and you can see how easy it is to make, and then you can give as a gift. All right, so let's get right to it. I have my card and I have my envelope. Let's work on our card first. Now, you can cover this with whatever you like. I do suggest it be a lighter weight paper. I wouldn't suggest a cardstock. So I am going to cover mine with this paper here, and it's from Chapter 1 Papers. And I just wanted something kind of plain. I also was looking, when I came up with this and finished my example last night, I was looking at what I had available without having to print any more pages out on my computer, and I found this one that really went well. So that's my choice for today. This is the inside of our journal. So it's going to be the inside front and back cover of our journal is going to be this paper right here. Now you could use paper pad paper, as long as I would just suggest it be a lighter weight, which is really easy to find, right guys? So one-sided, lighter weight, that's super easy to find a paper pad like that. I know that we all have those. Now I'm just pressing it down just to make sure it gets glued well. Now I used my Yoo-Hoo glue stick, and then I did the edges with my art glitter glue. You use the glue of your choice. I'm going to take my large scissors and I'm going to trim around my card. So far, you guys, it's not hard, is it? It's not going to get hard either, right? This is me. We don't do too many things that are really involved. We like to keep it simple. So trimming it out. Now, you could, if you like to do the machine, you could sew around this at this point in time. Now, I did not in my example, and I'm not going to right now. I am going to save my little pieces over here in my pile. And let's see, let's address our envelope now. So I have actually the same paper as I used for my inside journal pages. And let's start with our envelope, opening it up, and let's place it down so the flap is open. We're going to use our paper. Now my paper, as well as the one I just used, was 10.5 by 8, but you can use whatever size that you want. You can splice yours together. It doesn't have to be a full sheet. I'm going to lay my crease on my fold here. And I'm just looking right here to see. I think what I'd like to do is apply my glue about 1 inch down from my folded flap. So let me highlight this for you so that you can see a little better and you can understand what I'm saying. I'm lining this up on my grid. I'm taking my paper, and this is the long ways, and I'm placing it 1 inch from my fold. You can see right here, 1 inch. And why am I doing that? It's going to enable anyone who uses this journal to get in and out of this pocket easier. If we pop it way up here where this starts, this opening for this, that's going to be a little difficult and kind of fiddly to try to get your journal in there. So we're going to make it easy. We're going to move that opening down. So I'm going to get my, well, let's see. Let's stick with this Yoo-Hoo glue stick in the beginning. And I'm going to glue just the body, the main body of the bottom part of my envelope. I am not putting glue up here, you guys. I'm only putting glue right here on the body of the opening. I've got my art glitter glue now. Now remember, we're going to apply it 1 inch down. So 1 inch down. So 1 inch down. You see that? And then we're going to add our glue around the edge and then around the edge of our envelope, just like that. I'm going to do a little bit in here. That's probably fine. Taking my paper of my choice, and I'm placing it 1 inch down. I'm not doing it, I'm not placing this edge on the edge of that. I'm making it easy. I'm going to trim it out. So I'm just, it's just got to be easy for me to have fun, right, guys? If I have to work and struggle and think about it too much, it's just not going to be fun. Now, we're right here. Now, if I glue this already and fold it up, I'm going to have a hard time figuring out where my envelope is. So what I want to do is get my scissors, and I'm just going to free up this side just so I can see where my envelope is so I can trim my paper out. Now, if you didn't do it this way and you took your paper and you placed it right on the edge, you wouldn't probably need to do this. At least on one side you wouldn't. But I didn't do that, so I'm trimming mine out. All right, so now I'm going to be able to see where to trim it because we're going to be folding this over just like that. Now, because as you can see, I'm already, didn't fold it quite right if I would have gone ahead and done that. So I'm going to turn it backwards. So this is the opening. This is where we just started from. And I'm going to fold this part backwards only to find where my envelope is. And sometimes I find this to be difficult. So I'm going to grab, if I can get it out of my drawer, my ruler. Now I could do it this way too. It might be even easier. Place my ruler down on the edge of my envelope. And let's see here. There we go. Then I'm going to bring up my paper and I'm going to fold it over. So I kind of changed everything on you. This is the back side of the envelope. This is where we started from. I turned it over this way. I took my ruler, I laid it right on the end of the envelope, like this, and then I just rolled this right on over and creased it. That way, my envelope is not folded funny. See, as you can see, I didn't fold it funny. It's just an easier way to fold that. So what I want to do at this point before, I think maybe I'll glue it down. I was going to cut it first, but I think maybe not. Now you can see I'm missing a little section here. And as you can see in this one, I missed a little section right here and I had to splice it. That's okay, you guys. If you have to splice it, that's all right. It'll just make it more interesting. I'm going to go back to my art glitter, my U2 glue stick, and I'm going to use it, to cover my envelope just so I can roll over, I should say, fold over my extra paper. I'm going to get my art glitter glue. I'm going to add some right here at this folded area. I'm going to add some up the side and probably about right here because I think that's about how far it got before I ran out of paper. All right, now let's fold this right on over. Yeah, I judged that pretty well. And pressing it down just to get the glue to grab hold of our paper. Turning it over, doing the same thing. Now I can trim it out. I can see where my envelope is. I'm not going to have that little angle. I'm going to round it. Just rounding it, just changing my flap just a little bit of change in the, I just didn't want that rounded angle. I want to round my angle, I should say. All right, so I don't need these scraps. I'm going to throw them away. Now we have got our envelope and it looks like this. We need to get rid of this right here. So I'm going to take my scissors and I'm going to cut the side of my envelope. And I'm going to, this is a little fiddly. I think I might have to go in this way. But doing it this way really does open up your pocket so that you're not going to struggle putting your journal in and out of your envelope. All right, so we've got that done. Now we look just like this. Now the next thing I want to do is I've got my little piece because this is what I used in my example. I'm going to go ahead and cover this, and I don't really think it matters what I use. I think I'm going to pop it. I might just cut it off this way. And I'm going to use this part right here to cover up that, just to finish off covering my envelope. A little bit of glue stick and a little bit of art glitter glue. Just combining them. And then we're going to pop that on just like that. I'm putting it right up against, I'm not overlapping. You're really not going to see it much once you get your decorations on. I'm trimming it out now. There we go. Very nice. Now we need to have something on the inside. And you know, guys, I didn't grab a piece of paper for that. I do have another one of these, but I'm not sure I want to use the same thing. I have one of these, which is, this is chapter 1 papers. This is Roxy's creation. Let me get my, that goes all right with it. There's no problem there. It would add a little color. To stick this, I need to cover the inside. So what I want to do is I want to just get this cut so I can get a piece down inside of there. Because once you take the journal out of your envelope, you would be able to see the inside of your envelope. So let's go ahead and fix this up right here. I'm going to turn it this way, and I'm going to cut it a little shorter than what I measured, and hopefully that way I have cut enough off that it will slip nicely right down in here. Oh, I think that will be fine. It's going to be right about right there. I think that goes very pretty. So I'm going to, like I do sometimes, unconventional, stick my glue stick right in there. I don't want to try to stick that paper back in there once I've added glue to it. I just find that to be very hard. So I'm going to add my glue this way. As long as you get just a little bit down in there, it's not going to go anywhere. And adding my glue here, and then just pressing it down so that it grabs a hold. Getting my extra glue off of my glass mat. And then we need to trim this out. So once again, grabbing my scissors and trimming out our page around our envelope. There we go. Now, if you have a little bit of white right here, like I do, right here, you can either trim it off, or if you are an inker, you can just ink it up and it will just disappear just like that. So I do like the look of inking. I'll make sure that gets glued down. So I am using the frayed burlap, and I'm going to go ahead, I'm going to take a few minutes. I'm going to ink all of this all the way around, front and back, and I'm even going to ink up my card, and then we'll continue. All right, so I've got it all inked up. The next thing I want to do is I'm going to go ahead and I'm going to fold my envelope. I mean my card, I'm sorry. I'm going to fold my card in half the way that it was meant to be folded, right on the existing fold. Now it looks just like this, and I have got 4 pieces of coffee dyed paper. This one's tracing paper, love that sound, and then I have 3 other pieces of coffee dyed copy weight paper. So let's make our pages for our journal. And yes, I only used 4. I didn't want to make it too awful thick, because remember guys, it has to fit into this, and you don't want a crocodile mouth. You want it to be, you know, nice. You don't want it to be all bumped up. So I thought 4 looked really good. I folded my papers in half the long, well, not the long way, this way. The long way is the other way. This way, whatever way this way is. I folded it this way in half. This is the way I do it. If you have another way that you like to do it, then that's the way you should do it. I've got my pencil, I've got my card. I'm just going to tap it down like this. And I'm going to take my pencil and I'm going to lightly mark where I need to cut my papers. Then, now I'm going to use my guillotine. I'm going to bring my guillotine in. If I didn't have a guillotine, it'd be scissors. And I'm going to cut it just a little shorter than what's marked. I'm going to cut my markings off, is I guess the better way to say it. So I don't have my pencil mark on there, but I just barely cut it off. As you can maybe see the pencil mark still on there. Nope, maybe you can't. Oh, maybe you can. I'm not sure. It's just barely on the edge. Now let's check. Do I really like how that goes in there? Yep, I think that looks great. So I'm going to go ahead. I'm going to do all 3 of my pages that are left, and then I'll come back and we will continue. All right, so now I have my papers that I've just stacked up inside of my card. I put my tracing paper as the second page, so you can see it right there like that. And we're going to go ahead and let's paperclip our pages in, because you know what time it is? It's time to sew in our journal. So all my paper clips seem to be hooked together. Of course they are. There we go. Let's get these apart and clip our pages together. I know some people don't, when they just have a few pages, they don't clip them, they don't do any. I have to. It's just something that I need to do. Now, I am looking for my cheat sheet because I had it right here, and oh, here it is. This was from my first journal that I made as an example. I always use a cheat sheet. It tells you where you're going to place your holes, and it's evenly spaced. So what you'll want to do is you'll make a little strip that's the same length of your journal. Mine happens to be this time about 2 inches, but nothing less than an inch, and then it gets a little too fiddly. You're going to fold it the long way. You're going to fold it in half one more time, and then one more time, and then you're going to crease it really well. When you open it up and you see where the folds have intersected, that's where you're going to put a little dot. You're going to take your sheet and you're going to stick it in the fold of your journal, and you're going to get some more paper clips and you're going to clip it in so it's not going to move on you. It's going to be sturdy. Now I need to get my tools so we can sew this in. Alrighty, I have a little piece of packing material. I have my awl and I have my waxed bookbinding thread. Placing the folded part of your card journal down, I'm going to take my awl and I'm going to poke a hole right where my marks are. Now remember, you made your marks. Now it's important to hold your awl up and down. Sorry about that pop, it's popping right through. I'm holding my awl up and down. If you hold it at an angle, that's the angle of your hole. And then sometimes when you get your needle and you have your material on your needle and you're sewing in your signature, you can't find the opening to the hole because you have to go in at that exact angle, and it makes it frustrating. So if you try very hard to hold your awl up and down, you won't have as much trouble getting your needle in with your material to bind your book. Let's take our material and we're going to count 1, 2, 3. I'm going to count 4. And I'm going to trim it off. Now some people will say, well, that's too much and blah, blah, blah. This is how I do it. I need to have a little extra because, well, the way my hands work, I need to have a little extra material to be able to put on my dangles. And that's what we're going to do. First in the center hole, then out and up, back through in one of the other holes, all the way down to the end of the last hole and back into the center. And that's our easy little stitch that we're going to do. Take off the needle, and I'm just measuring. Yeah, I need to even this up just a little bit more. And let's see here. I'm going to pull this way just so I can get some material here to be able to even up my strings. I'm going to place one of my threads on the opposite side of my center thread, like this, making sure it's not caught on anything, and then give it a nice knot. If you're using embroidery thread, you are going to need to leave your little pages open. Put a little dot right here where the knot is, because embroidery thread will loosen up and then your signature will wobble. We don't want a wobbly signature. Now mine is bookbinding thread, and so it's waxed, and I don't have to put a little dot of glue there because the wax holds it in place. Now, I'm trying to figure out where I'm supposed to be putting all this stuff. Now we've got our signature all sewn in, and you know, one thing I didn't do that I did in my last one was I rounded my corners on my pages. These aren't rounded, but that's okay. All right, so now what I want to do is let's put a few little dangles onto our string right here. I'm getting down to not too many fancy beads left. I think maybe I'd like to do green right here. Though my example, I used my larger green ones. I don't have any more large green ones, and these are pretty doggone big. I think that's too big for my project today. But let's use green and red. So let's do 3 on this side and 3 on that side. One just went on the floor. It's okay. I'll get it later. Now, what I want to do is I'm going to string these on. Now, what I think I'd like to do, what worked for my example, was taking my little bead and going through the hole, and then I'm going to go through the hole again, and I got to pull it tight so that I can get my bookbinding material in there. I had to wet it. Okay, so it's in there. I've looped it twice. You can see that. It just, what it does is it secures your bead on your thread. I'm sticking my awl in the loop and helping it to push this up to where I want it to go. I think I really want it to be a little closer to the bottom, so I got to put this back through the loop. If I can get that loop open again. I don't know. Let's see. There we go. I'm just using my needle now. Yeah, there we go. So it's down below the journal. It's not going to be up in the journal. It's down below the journal. Now, next, I think I'd like this green one. At least, whoa! And there it went. Oh, goodness gracious. I'm going to recut this so that I can get it into... Yeah, this holds smaller. There we go. And then I'm going to do another red and maybe one more red. And on this last red, I am going to do the same thing, and I'm going to loop it around again. So I have to pull it tight and then go back through. I think I can do it, yeah, without cutting the end again. Using my tool here, pushing it up to the end like that, and tying a knot now. Now I will put a little tad of glue, wet glue, on the end of this knot when I get all finished with my journal, because I just don't trust it staying. Especially, you know, people like to pull on the little tassels and look at them and such, and I want to make sure that it stays. So that's really sweet, hanging out at the bottom. I'm going to go find that other little green bead that fell off the table, and then I'm going to finish the second one, and then we're going to complete our envelope, and we'll have a beautiful card journal. One card, one envelope equals a journal. Stay tuned, you guys. We're going to finish it off. All right, so I have my beads on. Now, I could not find that bead, that green bead, so I'll put a red one on and gold, so it's kind of mixed up, but it's okay. It's Christmas colors. I think it's cute. And we've got our journal completed, except for decorating. Now, you could put some pockets in here like I did. You could glue some things on your pages. You could stamp your pages if you have some nice Christmas stamps. You could use stickers on here if you would like. You could write a letter on here if it's a card that you want to give someone that actually you know, you want to say converse with them, you could use some paper clips and you can paper clip some ephemera in. So that is all up to you, how you would like to finish it off. Let's bring in our envelope because now we need to go ahead and we need to finish this off, including a closure. You're going to take your card journal and you're going to open it up so you're on the back page and just slip it right in, and it's going to go very nicely right in there. And then what we want to do is we want to fold this over. Now I'm just kind of looking to see, I think what I want to do is I want to get this straight. I want to get my card straight in my journal, in my envelope. And then I'm using my lines to get it straight. And then I'm going to press this right up against and fold it on over just like that. There we go. That wasn't hard. Now I want to add a little bit of decoration onto my flap, and I have some lace in here. This is not vintage lace, but I think it's really sweet, and I kind of like the fact that it is wide, because I think it would look really pretty on here and very fancy. So let's take our journal back out, and then let's start on one end of our envelope flap right here. And I actually think I'm going to add a little bit of color on my fold like this. So I'm going to start it. I'm going to actually have it hang over just a little bit. And I'm going to place my lace so that these oval pieces are kind of on the edge of my paper envelope on the flap. That way I won't end up with my lace going this way or possibly this way. I can try to keep my lace as even as possible. Adding my hot glue. Now I use hot glue in my videos because it's quick, it's easy, it's really great because once I glue this down, it's glued. I don't have to wait for it to glue. Now you see, I overlapped it a little, and not as much as maybe I could have, but let's go ahead and finish it all the way down to the point. Okay, so we're down to the end, the point of our little piece here, and I'm going to kind of do a little pleat, kind of like a little two-step here. We're going to pleat it up just a little bit, just kind of like a little fold. I'm going to make like a little fold right here. Maybe something like that. Okay, and then we're going to continue on, and I'm still trying to get that oval up there at the end of the paper so that I can try to keep my lace at the same level. All right, so now let's give it a trim, and then let's trim it up this way. Maybe about like that. And then let's do this. Now let's fold it. Now look at it a little more. Yeah, I need to trim a little bit more. Once you get it folded, you can kind of see where you need to trim off your lace. There we go. Oh, that looks really good. I'm very pleased with that. I'll hold this up so you can see it a little better. There's a little pucker right there. We can get that pucker out if you don't like it, and you just glue it down. There we go. All right, so now we need a hole right here. Now I am actually going to use my tool, and I am going to pop in my hole with my standard hole punch. You could use a hole saver if you don't have that other tool. I'm going to pop it on right here, right in the bend right here. Then I'm going to grab my eyelets and I'm going to set my eyelet. All right, so we're going to pop on the front part of an eyelet and the back part, you guys. You need the back part on to make sure that it's going to stay on your piece of paper. Without the back, it doesn't have anything to crimp it to, and eventually it will come off. So you need a front and back eyelet. And let's turn that back this way. I can do this on camera. We're going to pop this right in here like that. Press it down. There we go. We've got our eyelet on. That looks wonderful. Now, once again, if you don't have a tool like this or any eyelets, you can use a hole saver. That will work just as well. Now, I have some baker's twine here, and let's get our card journal in here like this. Pop it in. Well, for heaven's sakes. There we go. Okay. Now it's in. Now let's put our baker's twine through here. And you can wind it up however you like. I'm not real sure how I want to do this one. I need to make this longer so it goes around my card. So let me give myself some pieces here. And I'm just going to kind of judge. Yeah, that's probably plenty. And then I'm just going to, I think I'm going to go do it this way. And take it around, and then around again, and then I'm going to give it a tie. You could put beads on the end of your baker's twine or bells. That would be cute. But oh my goodness, you guys. Now, I have not said anything about the Tag Me Tuesday Facebook group. Now, I'm going to get some bling. I think we need a little bit of bling right here. I chose some red bling right here. So there is a link down below in the description for the Facebook group, hashtag Tag Me Tuesday. And to join, what you'll need to do is accept the rules. And what are the rules? To be kind to everyone, and there's no selling. That doesn't mean you can't sell your stuff, guys. It just means you can't sell your stuff on that site. That's all that means. If you accept the rules, you'll be able to join. If you don't accept the rules, I won't be able to accept you because we all need to be kind to everyone. And another thing is, if you want, the secret code is hashtag Cathy Sewing Happiness, but you don't have to have it to join, but you do have to accept the rules. You guys, I think this is a great project. Just grab some cards and an envelope, and you can make yourself a beautiful junk journal. If you've enjoyed this video, please give me a thumbs up. I invite you to subscribe to my channel, and I'll see you in my next video. I'll see you there, guys. Bye now.